All right. How are
Good.
you?
I'm not doing great, but that's typical me. I got to go back to work in a few days, and I'm not too excited about that.
So, what day are you going back?
I keep stretching it. I was supposed to go back
Mhm.
on Saturday, and then now I made it Monday.
Did you do your doctor's thing
No,
already?
I haven't seen my. I'll see my doctor on Friday.
I see. Are you going to be in good shape to be doing that appointment?
To be doing that appointment, I should be fine. Actually, going back to work, it's
Sorry to bug you.
it's kind of scaring the hell out of me because
Yeah,
I know that my boss has been like putting certain things aside, like that he doesn't want to do. He has like all of the hard projects that like he doesn't want to do, and I know that he's just gonna dump everything on me when I walk through the door. It's gonna be a huge pain in the ass.
so let me ask you about that. You work in a grocery store.
Yes, sir.
And so, like, what are the kinds of things that a manager can sit and put on hold for months and
I
then
mean,
dump out? I'm
it's
not
weird.
saying I
I
don't.
I never I
I just want
never
to know what
knew
they
I
are.
never knew how the logistics of a grocery store worked because I never worked in one and until this job. And grocery stores are a very intense job. Like there's a lot to be done.
Of
There's
course. Sure.
hundreds of thousands of products like that we need to make sure like on the shelf and like within the expiration date. Like it's like I mean it's there's a lot to be done. I'm responsible for 16 aisles of grocery. I'm responsible for all of the health and beauty section and the pharmacy, all general merchandise. It's a lot. It,
Sure.
it lost me a lot of weight. I walk 10 miles a day when I work, and it
That's
lost me.
good.
It is good. It's honestly, it's really good for me. I need that. I need that like exercise in my life,
Yeah.
like because like my brain is too wacko.
Yeah, you
Like
got to get that energy out.
yeah, I need to fill that void somehow. And yeah, no, it's weird because I really like the job, but at the same time, I just as anyone does, I guess, dread the job. You know?
But so, like, what are the things that I mean, to give a little context, you've been on a like sort of a short-term disability leave of absence of
Yeah.
some
Well, to
sort.
give a little context to the audience here, I have had an issue with alcohol for the last 15 years of my life, minimum. Probably more like 20 at this point, which is insane to even think about. Um, my work has given me a leave of absence in order to fix this issue. And I went through a 12-week intensive outpatient treatment program. And I wish that I could say that it did something, but it didn't. It just, because there is nothing that can, a little word to the wise here, just like imparting word to the wise. Like anybody who has like a drug issue, you already know what's wrong. You know what you need to do, and you don't need anybody else to tell you it 10 times over again. You know what needs to be done, and you can only help yourself. No one else is going to save you. No one else is ever going to save you. You have to save yourself. And I still have not figured out how to save myself. And it's really hard. And I didn't want to really talk about this on our first stream, but it's okay. It's like, I want
That's
I
I
want
mean,
people to understand that this is like it's not a joke. It's not like, this is not fun. Like I'm not
Right.
I'm not having fun. Like
Yeah. That's fair, and you're being real. So I mean, it's okay. It's better than just, I don't know, bullshitting or whatever.
yeah, well, I mean, and that's what most alcoholics do, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not a big fan of the AA program is because I feel like it's one big cop out. I have a disease. Like no, I don't. Like I have this disease that's making me drink. Like ooh, like when? Like no.
Well, I would say,
I it's only it's the first drink that we have control over, Steven. It's the first one. It's the first one that we have a choice over. The
I,
second one, the third one, the 500th one.
I would say somewhere that comes from too, though, is that I, I think when people have been abusing drugs or alcohol for a period of time, I do think it can damage or kill off receptors in the brain,
It
and
does.
it
Absolutely,
can
it does.
it can chemically change what you're starting to biologically need in your body, and in that way it has become something more than just a decision. It is sort of a biological illness at a certain, not that, I mean, I don't know that that's the way they're really looking. Or they just want you to, really, I thought it was more like the religious thing, and they want you
Yeah,
to
no, and that's another thing I
give
don't
into
like
a
about
religion,
it.
and then also just attend and go to meetings all the time. It's just that if you're always at the meetings and doing the program, then you're not drinking or whatever. And so if you literally are just going to meetings all the fucking
Well,
time,
this is the thing about AA is that they
then
actually
you're,
allow people to drink at the meeting, not at the meeting. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase.
or be drunk,
You're
like,
allowed to be drunk in the meeting. Like that's like
you're allowed to
that
come
is
in
a
if you're a
rule,
little
and
lit
like
up.
that's a completely off. Woodrow.
Well, I mean,
It's like it's a rule that never made sense to me because I don't, you know.
I would assume that it implies a little bit of a sense of understanding that it's not a linear thing, and people might fall off the wagon but still like want to get better, and they don't want to like turn people away
I
or
know,
something,
I know.
who are still like,
It's
hey, I fucked up. I don't know. I mean, I haven't gone to enough of them. I went to some, forever ago, and
I've been to a couple, and there's the guy sitting next to me just like reeking of alcohol, and I'm just like, ugh.
yeah,
Like
I could see how that wouldn't help then. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
I don't know, and
Um,
the thing about God and the thing about
Well, I hear some of them are a little more open-minded, and they just want you to think that in a general
well, a
concept
lot
and
of them
give
are
respect
actually very
over to some.
close-minded when it comes to like they don't want you to do anything. Like, because I have been very open in AA meetings and telling people like, look, like I have a drinking problem, but instead of drinking, I like to smoke weed, and then you'll get these really hardcore Bible thumpers that'll be like,
Yeah, they're not going to
yeah,
want to
like
hear that for
we don't
sure.
want any of that in this group. Like you are not allowed to do anything, and I'm just like, well, like what? Like
They're not going to want to hear. They're not going to want to
I
hear
know.
that. And to play devil's advocate, as somebody who like daily, regularly uses marijuana, like I don't look at it like, I mean, I'm doing a drug every day. Like, I'm not, I don't know. I don't think it's not anything, It is like, if there's programs about reaching sobriety, you could still understand somebody being like, well, why do you need to smoke weed every day? If like
And it really doesn't come down to a question of why. Like that's none of your goddamn business, is what I would say to that person.
Well, I mean, but if you're there to get off of alcohol, or you're
Well, the
there
thing
through
is
a
like I was in this group.
issue,
I was in this intensive outpatient program for what I thought was only alcoholics. And then we had this guy in the group who's like and this is, and I'll just, I'm gonna talk exactly like he talked. Yeah, so like I'm really trying to get like completely sober by May. Like I think like if I stop smoking, like I think that like
Wait, who is this?
this is a kid in my group. Like we're like
Oh, it was another person
we've
in the
got
group.
intensive situations going on where like this person just drank yesterday and they're a mess, and this guy's like about to fall over in his chair, and then you've got dude here who's like, yeah, I really want to stop smoking weed, and like I really don't like, I just don't know. And I'm just like, I just want to like, I wanted to just like, I wanted to jump across the room
Hey,
and punch him in the
he's
face. Like, no, but
he.
but the way that he said it, he didn't want to quit then. He goes, my goal is to like, I think my main goal is to like be done by like May. And I'm like, May? It's February, buddy. like, like
Well, I mean,
we're all sitting here with serious problems, and you're gonna go bullshit about your weed issue, like.
yeah, but so what? An internal issue that somebody's having that they're trying to reach out and find community
You're
to
right.
deal with is
You're
like
right, and I shouldn't. Well, if he was
I
genuine, I wouldn't have said what I just said. It doesn't feel genuine. It just feels like somebody.
there was an air of flippancy
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, exactly. Flippancy is a good word for it. Yeah.
He was flippant.
Yes. Yeah, no. And then the girl next to him is like, she's got like got a giant scar on her neck, like she was stabbed in the neck like once, like and survived.
Oh, okay.
And like she's like literally like in tears because she drank the day before and she doesn't know how to explain it to everyone. And this guy's just flippantly talking about like, well, yeah, I guess I like smoked a little bit of wax yesterday. It's just like, no, like it's like, no, like this doesn't add up, like. And I felt terrible for that girl too, and we had a good conversation. She relapsed. She had like a bunch. She was very honest about it, and that's like that's what this is all about. Unfortunately, is alcoholism doesn't just stop. And you want it to. You want to just say like,
Kevin,
this is all done now. I'm all done now. But that's not how it works. That's not how it ends up working.
Yeah, I mean, and so at that point, do you think it's maybe a semantic argument to say what you're going through is you're sitting there saying it doesn't end and you can't get out of it and you can't like wouldn't you say it's disease at that point? Wouldn't you say that listen, you think you're making all these decisions and you are, but like your body
the only reason I say no, to answer your question, the only reason I say no is because I went 5 months without having one sip of anything. And that proved to me that I could, if you can go 5 months, you can go 5 years, you can go 50 years, you can go the rest of your life. Like, it takes that one stupid decision to take that one drink. It's only that first drink that you have the control over. Every other drink you have absolutely no control over. And I'll call that a disease, I guess, if you want to.
Do you think
you want to label it that way?
Do you think that your body reaching a point where it is biologically needing something is going to convince you psychologically?
No.
It's going to make you give you
because I don't
psychologically find some reason to rationalize it and do it.
I've had these conversations with psychologists and with people in the substance abuse field, and my addictive qualities of alcohol are different than other people's. I literally can't believe I'm going to say this publicly. But
Well,
most of the time that I start drinking is because of a situation with a woman, and like I can't handle I can't even handle my own thoughts. So I feel like I have to get that liquid confidence. And I know that I'm not the only person who feels this way. Like, a lot of people need that liquid confidence. But once I get it, I can't stop.
yeah, I mean, I guess.
Like 3 drinks in, I'm the best version of Kevin. And then 30 drinks in, I'm the worst version of anyone. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess just as somebody that's known you a long time and sort of watched the ups and downs of this as closely as I can from where I live and from where you live now and everything. But yeah, I mean, it certainly seems to me like there is just nothing that can be done, even when you hit a sober streak for a while, and like you'll go to a rehab thing, you'll detox, you'll whatever, you'll do a treatment after a detox or
It's
something
just
like
all the
that,
it's all the same
and then you have some
regurgitated.
time built up, but it's always just a matter of
It's
time,
it's all the same
and so
regurgitated bullshit. Like people will stand by their idea of like, oh, you need to get in somewhere. You must get in somewhere. That'll save you. It's the it's the same rhetoric that is given at every AA meeting. That's given it like it's all the same message. We all know what is good and what is
well,
not good for
what
us.
Well, what I do agree is what it always comes down to when I'm thinking about you, when I'm worried about you, or if I'm thinking about you at a time when I'm not talking to you, I am usually thinking, well, no matter how much time I could spend on the phone with somebody or how much I could do or whatever, it's just like Kevin needs to be able to get to a point where he can be alone with himself and not drink or whatever. And like, no matter what, no matter how much time I like, it is something you are going to have to be able to control on your own. Like, and people, and that is the difficult thing I think for addicts, or it
No,
would
it's
seem to
like
me is like,
my father drills it into my head every time he like talks to me about it. He's like you and I both know this is on you. You can go to as many meetings as you want. You can go to as many groups as you want. You can go into an inpatient program, an outpatient program, this or that. You and I both know that this is on you.
yeah, I mean that's kind of it. In some ways, that's what I'm getting at. Anytime I've been really worried about a person with drugs, and you do what you can up to a point, and it's like this person is going to have to be able to be alone with themselves and make the right decisions. Like no matter what,
Well, I mean,
nobody can just.
I've ostracized myself to like the world. Like I live in Vermont by myself. I don't know anyone here. Like I have a work friend. I have a neighbor friend. Like I don't like have any family here. I don't have any, like I kind of like put myself in a position where I am completely alone and I'm trying to master it. I'm not able to master it. Cuz I'm going to be alone for pretty much the rest of my life. Like until I find, that girl that's going to accept who I am and, accept the fact that she's never going to be allowed to go to Chicago. like like that's a hard thing to tell a woman. Like, hey, like, guess what? You can never go to Chicago for the rest of your life if you want to be with me. Like,
Maybe you could find that out there,
we
though.
can never travel outside of the country. There's a big one. There's a big red flag right there. We can never travel outside of the country together ever. Well, actually, my passport's good until November of 2025.
Yeah, would you really get flagged on a
I don't think
flight
so. I think
out of a
the thing
state that
is
isn't
that the
Michigan?
problem is if I leave, I can't like. There's not like I have to find a place that I can settle down. It's not. It's not.
I
It's not
mean,
leaving to go on vacation. It's leaving to like never come back to the U.S. ever again.
I don't know. I would feel like if you just are flying back into Vermont, you're probably fine, or somewhere like that.
It's good until November of 2025. So
That I mean, I don't know.
I'm looking at
I
I'm
don't
looking
think
at it in terms of like that's the date that I can like get out by. I'm not looking at it in terms of like can I come back?
I don't think that's really. I mean, I think you probably. I think if you manage to be able to fly out of country, I would think you'd probably be able to get back. As long as you were flying
Well,
back into like Vermont, New York, whatever.
maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know
No,
enough
you
about
might
it.
be right, but the like my
But that's not really
the
the
red
point
flags
anyway.
are always going to show
I don't
up.
think your answer is flying somewhere out of the country. I don't think that's going to solve anything for you. I think you have
It's just too much money
different
to
things.
live like in Vermont. It's so expensive to live here.
Yeah.
You can't like the only people who live here are trust fund babies.
Yeah, college
I
kids
mean,
with parent family money they're going on. Yeah, sure. I would think.
I
Yeah.
paid my landlord $35,000 over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Think about what I
I
could have
believe
done with
it.
$35,000.
Didn't you have a good like a housing benefit
Okay, so
through the
this is the
state?
funny thing. I signed up for Section 8 housing 3 years ago. They just sent me a letter in the mail last week, actually. I have it on my counter. That said if you still want to be on the waiting list, you must sign this piece of paper and send it back to us. I've been on the waiting list for 3 years. And they're telling me if you still want to be on the waiting list, you need to send this back to us. Like
That
it's a
sucks. I
joke,
mean,
man.
yeah,
It's a
for
joke.
sure. But weren't I thought you were getting a certain amount of money for housing a year, like almost
I
30 grand.
was. That was the COVID.
Oh, it was
That was
COVID and
the
state
VRAP
relief stuff.
program, the Vermont Emergency Assistant Housing Program. Yeah.
That's yeah.
They basically
Well,
paid for my entire rent for like almost 2 years. God bless Vermont for that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, seriously.
People should be so lucky for
Yeah, no,
sure. I mean,
I
I wish it
really
was still going for you,
well,
but yeah, sounds a
it
lot
was
better than a lot of what a
but
lot
it
of other
had
states
caveats
got.
to it. I couldn't have a job. The only reason I got that money was because I didn't have a job, so I had to like stay unemployed to get the benefit, and it was I did
Well,
the
was it
math in my head. The benefit was worth more than getting a job.
Yeah, you would have to be making more than whatever you were getting from
And
the
all the
yeah.
all the diabetic stuff like being free and like like that is priceless. Like all that stuff being free was I was living in a
Yeah.
dreamland. I was living in a dreamland. It's
Yeah.
amazing how when you don't have a job in this country, you're living in like you're living like a like you're like you're completely well like they pay for everything.
Well, in
There's no
Vermont,
caveat. Like there's like you can go to the hospital for anything and it's all just 100% paid for if you don't have a job. How does that make sense?
well, means testing is the problem, really. There should be just more out and out universal programs that everybody gets because that's the issue. Is it's not that people who don't have a job shouldn't get those things. It's that
No, you're
everybody
right.
should just get those things and the whole situation needs to be
Well,
structured differently.
because and I lived in Canada for 4 years, so I got to witness and experience the Canadian side of everyone gets healthcare for
Yeah,
free,
well.
and it's not all fun and game. It's not all
Yeah, well, I don't see any of them
eating
turning
it
it
too.
down. I don't see anybody saying it
Well, I was just talking with
Make me go to work to get health care. I
you
don't see
have to
anybody saying
wait.
that.
The thing is that they make you wait. They make you wait and
You
wait
think
and
people don't
wait.
wait for things here? Like,
I'm telling you, it's different there. When you go into the doctor's office there, it's it's not only every seat is filled, people are standing on top of each other because you just have to wait. People are standing on top of each other because you just
okay.
have to wait.
I mean, that sounds like a real nightmare. That sounds much worse than
I mean, yeah, it's
dying
free.
because you can't afford medical care or living in medical debt for the rest of your life. Yeah,
Well,
that sounds a lot worse. You're right. Anyway, I mean, what are we
but
doing?
but
Politics? I mean, come on.
this is not
Let's
about
get back.
politics.
Let's
By the
get back to.
by the time you're done waiting in that little room, after like 90 people go in front of you, you meet up with this idiot doctor. Like they're a complete moron. Like they might as well like have fallen off the face of the earth and just landed into their degree. You wait this entire like you wait all that time to speak with an idiot, and that's the inherent issue.
Kevin, I feel like I've heard you speak this way about any doctor you've been to here in the United States. I've
Well,
heard you
just in
say doctors you
Vermont,
go
I
to
mean,
here are
I
idiots.
took for granted how good Michigan doctors actually are, and how like
So Vermont is also it's like Canada, but not even with
well,
necessarily
the problem is we don't have enough tax dollars coming in. We just don't inherently have enough tax dollars
as a
coming
state.
as a state. We don't have enough money to pay for these programs that other states are able to do with, one
But
tiny little corner of one city.
but
I
you
mean,
also you guys Vermont has programs that no other state has, and some of it's because there's fewer people to have to provide it to. Like, so I don't know. It just seems like you're talking about
all of the
you,
good doctors, all of the actual doctors kind of jumped ship during COVID.
Kevin. Kevin, my point is you were just talking about getting like 30 grand a year for housing because you were in Vermont and you weren't working, and it was a COVID emergency situation, but people in Michigan did not get a big
I
housing
think they
stipend
did.
like
I think
that.
they did. I think you may have not have heard about it because you had a job.
No, I don't think so. It
I
was a
think
rent freeze. That's all it was. But all of it was accruing. I mean, I don't know. You're right. I don't know, but I'm saying that's a state by state thing that I don't think everybody got.
you're right. It's just at the end of the day, like once you see the final bill, it's like yeah, like they gave me all this stuff, but then like once the bill comes, it's like it's just so much money. It's
Well,
just so
what? I mean, you got bills now is because there's no more emergency provision, or it's not
no, and
considered
like
a.
and what they should have done, in my opinion, is to like gradually take it down. But they just went from 110% to zero, and that's not the way to do that. Like it should have been gradually brought down so that people could like acclimate to the fact that like they need, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
When you put someone in the position where they're have everything to gain and nothing to lose, and then like take that away from them like it's like just like a fucking slate on board, like it's. I know that I shouldn't be bitching. I'm just.
No, I mean it's not even that. I'm not like saying that you're bitching or something.
What's up, Taro Destroyer?
Yeah, that's weird. There's a cure for alcoholism. What's the cure for? I'm sorry, we
What
didn't notice the chat there for a
how's it
while.
how's it going? How's it going
Maybe they're
tonight?
gone. They're probably gone by now. This was like more than 2 minutes ago. But let us know.
I like how they said that with a period and then didn't follow up with anything.
Yeah, let us know if you make it back in here by chance. Let us know what the cure.
Yeah, no, seriously,
the silver bullet for
right,
alcoholism
exactly.
is.
Thank you. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I
I got to
mean,
remember to put that up. He probably
if
pieced out.
and honestly, Tarot Destroyer, if you are still here, like, you know, I would love to hear any and all suggestions are thankful in my head. So
What was it we were just talking about the other day? Like, I had it confused with like a Suboxone type thing, like an opiate blocker. But
naloxone, you said, but
yeah,
it's called naltrexone.
no, that's the alcohol one.
Yeah.
Have you ever been able to try that?
Well, it's got a lot of really weird side effects, and one of them being that it's really hard on your liver. And like they were asking me, and I said to the doc, I was like, don't I haven't I already given my liver like enough problems? And he's like, well, at least it's not drinking. And I'm like, well, what does that? Like, you're not quantifying it in any way. You're just saying like, well, at least it's
Well,
not that.
but I guess the idea would be you're doing a certain one-time damage to it, like taking it for however long you need to be
I think I
off
do.
alcohol for a while, and then you're done. Whereas, as opposed to not
Well, no,
stopping
you have to
drinking and
like
then
basically
just.
naltrexone is something that you take like once a month for like I don't know. Basically, I probably have to take it forever to
But
keep.
still, don't you think taking something once a month versus like being an alcoholic and like ostensibly drinking every day or any, like, don't you think it's probably a it's
Yeah,
probably a net positive trade off?
I'm so weird about medical stuff.
I get it. I am too. I don't really
Like,
have to be. Although I'm not really either though. It's not like
I'm one of those people who don't want to know what's wrong with them.
yeah. I
Like
get
when I lost I lost like 35 pounds. I thought I had cancer. I went to my doctor and I was like, I have cancer. I have cancer. And he's like, you don't have cancer. Calm down. He's like, let's do like we can do a couple of tests. Like, just calm down. You don't have cancer. And then I just walked out of it. I know I have cancer. I can't take the test because I didn't want to know. And then months down the line, I started to go blind. I couldn't see. I couldn't read my watch anymore. I couldn't read my phone. I couldn't read any text message. Like, everything was a blur. And that's when I finally got tested. And I had a clinician call me at 1:30 in the morning and say, "You need to go to the hospital right now." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "You need to go to the hospital right now." And I was like, "Sorry, you need to explain yourself first." And she's like, "Your blood sugar is 576. You need to go to the hospital right now." And she sent an ambulance to my door. And I had like 5 EMTs explaining to me why I had to go to the hospital. And I just kept pointing at my dog because if he can't be safe, then I'm not going to be safe. So, and I knew that my blood sugar was probably that high for quite a while. So it's not like, going to the hospital that night was going to like save my life. And I just kind of, I didn't know it, but I knew it. And, like one more night with blood sugar at like 600 is not gonna, if you've already gone this long, like. So I found a safe place for Woodrow to go, and then I did go to the hospital, and yeah, I got really bad news. I'm a type 2 diabetic that's being treated as a type 1. My doctor, my endocrinologist, told me that my pancreas will never work again. It will never create insulin ever again. And I will be insulin dependent for the rest of my life. And that's a very hard thing to hear because you always hear like, oh yeah, you can reverse it. Yeah, people have reversed it. And I can't.
But it was pretty far gone by the time you were working on it. That's a lot, man.
And there's nothing to blame anyone for. Like, this is all me. Like, I did this to myself. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to make this like a sad podcast, but people need to like anyone out there, like if you're listening, if you're hearing this, if you're struggling with an alcohol addiction, just do everything you possibly can to nip it in the bud, because it only gets worse and worse and worse and worse. It never gets better until it's done.
Yeah, I've certainly lost people to alcoholism. It definitely happens. But
Woosah,
yeah, you get it out. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's
Hopefully that's good that you are. I don't know. I don't want to be like, getting you to talk about stuff you don't need to be. I don't know.
no, it's I
I
actually like talking about this stuff in like this capacity, because I feel like, you know, anybody who may be listening right now, like, they could, like, they don't necessarily need to say anything, and there could be no one listening right now, and that's fine. I feel like any help that I can give someone else, like, who's struggling, like.
So, but going back to work then on Saturday,
Yeah, no, I'm not going back to work on Saturday.
or
I'm seeing my doctor on Friday, so most likely my return to work date will be Monday.
Monday.
And because what am I going to do? Work the last shift of the week and like make, after taxes I make nothing. Like it like ends up being $0. Like, no, I don't want to do that. So
I don't think that's how it works, but sure. I sure, whatever, I get it. But so I mean, to circle all the way back to just sort of more of the mundane, dread, existential stuff that is also stuff that probably even more people can relate to. Uh, I mean, you were telling me about how much there is to do in a big grocery store, supermarket, thing like that, but like you're saying somebody's gonna have stuff that they've been saving up for months while you've
well,
been
just
off dealing with this
I feel
stuff.
like my direct boss, he did it to me when I was working like regularly. Like he would push off every shitty job onto me. And like, I'm his assistant, so like I have to just kind of take it up the fucking wazoo and just, deal with it. And it's like, I feel like it's going to be like I feel like when I actually come back, it's going to be like tenfold, like on top of my head. And I just need to think of it as I get paid by the hour. I clock in and I clock out. And he can give me as much work as he wants, but I'm just going to do it at the pace that is my job. So.
Sure, absolutely, that's totally fair.
I'm
But
so
so
glad.
what?
I'm actually glad that I'm not salaried, because like they really do screw salaried people in the grocery world. The grocery world is. I have never worked in the you never worked in the grocery world, correct, Stevie? No.
No, not at all.
I never knew the weird like little, there's like weird little ins and outs to the grocery world, and basically none of them are good. So like I got lucky in landing the assistant manager position. If I didn't land like, any type of managerial position, I wouldn't have taken, I wasn't going to be a cashier. But there's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes because there's just so much product. You don't think about it when you walk into a grocery store, how much product that is actually being maintained at any given moment.
No, I can imagine there's a ton of shit that I don't buy or need, but it's there. Everything, a million different brands, and I don't know. But I guess what I'm really still just curious about is what are you anticipating What are the types of things that he's been able to sit and put on hold for months that he's gonna lay on
No,
you
basically, like,
Monday?
his boss explained it to me a certain way before this all went to shit. And he's like, "Oh, it'll be a learning experience for you. It'll be a good character building experience." And I'm like, whenever someone says shit like that, you know they're full of shit. Like, this will be good for your character. Like, to do all this
Yeah,
extra work. Oh,
yeah,
this will be
sure.
so good for your character later in life. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna gain so much.
Yeah,
It's like,
nobody's trying to make it sound like you're getting a good deal. They're not
yeah,
even trying to make it sound like that.
no, and you know me, like, I don't let bullshitters bullshit me because I'm a bullshitter, and I can see bullshit from a mile away, and I don't let other people bullshit me because, sorry, I already know it all. I know the whole bullshit world. I've been living it for 35 years. I mean, imagine if they did just a simple background check, which they won't do, but that's all they need to do to, like, get me out the fucking door is a simple background check.
Some of those don't do outside of the state stuff, though.
The problem is that my charge, I think, is federal.
You have a federal charge.
I think all domestic violence charges are federal or become federal because I can never buy.
Are
For example, I can never buy a gun. Like, for the rest of my life, I can never buy a gun, um, and that's a federal matter.
well, not that I want to encourage either, but I'm pretty sure you could still. But
No, I actually cannot buy a gun
there's a
with my
lot of
social
states where
security
you can
number.
buy guns at a gun show, and it doesn't usually.
That's also going away.
Maybe
That
I
used
don't
to
know.
that used to be
I
a
don't.
thing in Vermont too. Like, people used to
I,
be able to sell guns on a table and just, like, like,
yeah, but I'm not talking
haphazardly,
about
like
Vermont. I'm
trade
talking about
guns.
like Texas and Alabama and put. You know, I'm
There's
just.
two states I don't want to travel to.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough about all the nitty gritty on that. It's never been my main thing.
You don't own a weapon, do you?
I mean, not a gun, certainly no.
You do not own a gun. You have no interest in owning a gun.
Um, yeah. No, I mean, I guess there's times where I've been sort of interested in like a sporting utilitarian sort of
It's only
whatever.
utilitarian. The only assholes who buy guns just to buy guns are just assholes. Like,
So I guess I've thought about it on that level. Do I
you
think I
don't have
need a
any
gun
you don't
to
have any
be
children in the
utilitarian?
house. You don't have a real liability there unless Rachel was to be an idiot, which I'm sure she'd be fine.
I mean, in
So,
theory, I should. Somebody could say, "Oh, well, you should have it because you do have your wife in the house or whatever," but it also increases the likelihood of
well,
like
you also
or whatever. But
and the thing
also,
about
my
the
main
thing
thing,
about having a gun is that you need to have it, like, right next to you when something is happening. Like,
my main thing
you
is
can't, like, have it in a safe that you have to, like, get the key out and unlock as someone's, like, in your house, in your home, right? Like, it's
well,
got to be, like, under your freaking mattress or your pillow or whatever,
I don't know. I could imagine there's safes that aren't that hard to open. That it would be not much more time or whatever.
If
But
that person
that's
is in
not
your
re-
home,
my
they've only
point.
got, like,
My
10 steps
This is the
between you
whole
and them.
tangent I wasn't really looking to go down. But my
Sorry.
point actually is that uh, I live in one of the smallest and ugliest houses in my neighborhood. I don't I don't think my house is particularly a target for
Just keep not mowing that lawn, brother. Just
I I mow my lawn.
keep
What are
that
you
grass
talking
long.
about?
Keep
You're
that
thinking of my
grass long.
neighbor. Thinking of my neighbor next door who doesn't
I
mow.
was just thinking of the last time that you were going to mow the lawn at the end of the year last year, and it was like, it
Well,
took
we had
you,
to go
like,
buy a whole new lawnmower. Yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah, and you chose what? Grid Killer. Grid Killer.
what?
I saw an electric snow thrower the other day that was $1,400, and I was like, why is this thing $1,400? And I asked the guy, like, why does that cost so much money? And he goes, well, what does it look like to you? And I said, it looks like a snowblower. And he goes, doesn't it look like it's gas? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that's why, because the battery inside of that thing costs $1,000.
Yeah, well, I'll
Like,
say the electric mower we ended up getting did not cost $1,000. It cost about the same amount as any other lawnmower I've ever seen in my life. It was like around 300.
350.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Did you get the
It's
warranty?
fine.
You got the warranty?
I'm sure there was some amount of warranty. I don't know. I don't
No,
remember
I'm
now.
saying like the extra warranty, the tack on, the 3 years of.
No. Nah. Nah, I trust myself. Who
Good.
gets a who gets a lawnmower fixed?
Well,
Who does, who's what? It's
the,
like
the thing
it
is
either
it's
works
not
or it
even
doesn't work.
a lawnmower. It's like an electric fucking like shaver. Like it's just like a really powerful electric shaver.
Yeah, and if the battery fucks up, I can get a new battery. I don't have to buy the whole new lawnmower again. I don't know.
You think your next car will be electric or gas, Stevie?
My next car is gonna be fucking used. That's what it's gonna be. So it's probably
So
still
it's
gonna be
gonna be
gas.
gas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm probably fucking
You
Rachel's
want to
gonna
talk?
get a car and I'm
We were
getting the
talking
car
about
Rachel's
bubbles.
driving.
We were talking about like financial bubbles earlier. Let's talk about the financial bubble of electric cars. Because there's still plenty of oil left. There's still plenty of oil
Yeah,
left.
but it's the concern is really more about like wet bulb temperatures and heat waves and stuff and like
Well, heat
yeah,
waves are going to do even worse for the electrical grid. We're talking,
no, 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 no. Kevin, you're not getting the point that burning more and more fossil fuels is going to speed up and accelerate.
theoretically, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty well documented about carbon output and its contribution to climate
I
change.
just don't think that electrification is necessarily saving us. Like it's the whole
No,
idea
it
of
might not.
it's the whole idea of recycling. Recycling doesn't save the planet. It saves corporations more money because they get to recycle old product. That's the only
There's
reason recycling has been pushed as far as it has.
I
Because
think there's some
recycling
efficiencies like with paper and was and
spend more gas in those giant recycling fucking vehicles than they end up saving with the plastic. So
I I thought plastic and paper were usually kind of better to repurpose than to continue like as much as you can then continually toss out. I've
I
heard
mean,
that
bamboo is gonna save every like we need to like focus on bamboo
you're
because
like a hemp guy in the 90s now.
bamboo grows at like exponential rates and like it can be used for, especially now, the way that they can like mix fibers and make paper and
Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think people's personal consumption habits are going to make a big difference compared to like what
well no and
industry and militaries contribute. Like, there's
well
nothing we can do about
the thing
that.
like think about 20 years ago. Think about how many people used a printer on a daily basis, like back in 1999.
Sure, they would have
Like
needed it
there
a
was
lot
just
more.
like tons of paper, just because I needed it at the moment. Like and like people had bricks of paper. Like millions of people had bricks of paper
Well,
because
it
we were
was a
printing so much
record-keeping thing
bullshit.
for a lot of businesses too. Like
My
businesses
my
had to.
my my grocery store goes like it's sickening the amount of paper they go through. I was talking to my boss about this. I was like, "Do you want to just like do you want to pay me a little bit more money and I can figure out the paper situation?" Like cuz you'd be saving money. Like they spend so much money like businesses especially.
Yeah,
They
because
spend
it's
so much money on paper and they just think of it as a throwaway cost and it's really not. Like it's really not.
yeah.
They'll print out books of paper at my job. Books of grocery statistics. And then it goes in the trash the next day. It's like, why did you even need to print it out? Like
Yeah, I mean that's
like
bad that they're not doing more.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like yeah, that pisses me off cuz I love this planet and I feel like, you know, I'm never going to see the Amazon rainforest because eventually it's just going to be a big giant farmland.
yeah,
It's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
sickening.
Yeah, I don't have anything too optimistic to chime in with, I guess. So yeah, I don't know.
Does Rachel still have the Escape?
No, she has a Ford Edge.
An Edge. That's like the van, right? Like that like
No,
van
I mean
thing.
it's an SUV still. It's just like it's bigger than her Escape was.
Is it a 2008 or 2009 by any chance?
Yeah, I think it is because it's older than the car she actually had before.
That thing is going to last.
It seems to be
Oh
doing
08, oh
well.
08, oh 09 Edges.
Seems to be doing well, and we've been taking it in to get serviced regularly as
Yeah,
needed.
no, those things have parts. Like once that
No,
thing dies, you can probably sell it for just as much as you bought it for, just in parts.
Kevin, that's probably going to be my next car. Is
The
her
Edge?
getting a new car,
No,
me taking
no,
that.
no, no,
She's
no.
going to get a new car. I'm
You
going to
need a
take that.
car. You need a car. You're not a
I
van.
have a car.
You're not a
Not
van
great.
guy. You're not a van guy.
I
You're
would. I
just
would.
not.
It's an SUV. It's not a van. Not that they're that different.
Not that we're counting.
Not that it's that different, but there's no
Not that
sliding
it's a.
door on the side of it.
Yeah, there's a sliding door on the side of it. So what is
No, there
that?
isn't. No, I'm saying there isn't one.
Don't they have? Oh, so
No.
the Edge doesn't have the suicide doors.
No. Nobody. I don't even think Ford has a van with like a sliding door anymore. I don't think they have a Windstar or an Aerostar anymore. I don't think they
What?
do.
I think that every car should
It's
come
all
with
trucks,
suicide
SUVs,
doors.
and cars. Like that.
Why
It's
doesn't every car come with suicide doors? You want to know why? Because they're called suicide doors. It's a huge
Hey,
liability for any car
hey,
company.
you know what else they don't do anymore? Bench seating.
Oh my god!
Or at least bench
Oh,
seating in the front.
I miss it. You know, we were only around for a short period of time when that was a regular thing, but man, a good old bench seat doesn't that just invite the best blowjob of your life? I mean,
It's certainly, yeah,
certainly
yeah.
didn't hurt.
I mean, that is there would
That
be
was the
times.
idea, wasn't it?
I mean, there would be times you'd be with a girl in your car and you'd go into the back seat to go fool around because it's got
Right,
the
because you
whole.
got to fucking like you got a center console you got to
Yeah,
deal
you
with.
got the
Like she can't get over the center console. Like
right. It's an annoying barrier at that point. Yeah,
it's also
it's
a thing that like
cumbersome.
it's also like it was either like you know you either had a station wagon or you had a truck that had that. Like there wasn't really
Or
any like or
yeah,
maybe like
station
maybe
wagon,
like
I
a
guess.
Cadillac Eldorado.
Yeah, like a luxury car, I
Yeah,
would say too. Not
yeah,
necessarily just station wagons. Like I would say,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and Eldorado's always had that nice bench seat.
I don't know if you go back
I've
far
always
enough.
wanted an Eldorado.
If you go back far enough, weren't they all bench? I mean, even sports cars,
I
weren't they
mean,
all bench seats? Because bucket
even
seats were
sports
like
cars. No, no,
bucket
no.
seats were like
I
kind
want to
of
say you're wrong about the sports car thing, but you might. I'd have to. We'd have to do some
like a
research.
'50s Thunderbird. Wouldn't that have bench seats? I don't know. I don't know.
Ah, now
I don't
you're
know
gonna make
enough.
me look something up.
I
No,
don't
because that
remember.
actually. No, you might be right. Remember Sean's Thunderbird? Remember his dad's Thunderbird?
Not really.
That thing had so much. That thing had so much to give and everything to lose. Like it truly was just like a beacon of like our high school years and like just the truly silly nature of what was capable out of us idiots. That car meant a lot to me.
Yes, the days when, it was a big deal. Somebody had a car and it
Somebody
was
had a car with 300 plus horsepower, and it was
ooh.
Sean, who barely weighs 140 on a good day. Like, my God,
Yeah, and
that is
maybe
too much horsepower for a tiny kid like that.
and
Remember when him and David, were you there when him and David raced?
I
Actually,
don't know, maybe.
this is when Sean had the Explorer. Sean raced David in his like cool Civic. Remember how David had the cool Civic?
He had
Yeah, he had that red Civic.
a red one and it looked a
Yeah.
little sportier. Yeah.
So you
Like a
remember that dead
spoiler or
end?
something.
You remember that dead end street that was between Beck and I guess it was between Beck and Getty's, but it was just off of Beck, like right before
I
Central.
remember it was like a court or
It
something.
was a
Yeah, like
court. It wasn't a
yeah,
dead
I
end. It was a
remember going to
court.
hang out with you guys down at the
Right.
end of that at
So
least
they
once or twice.
raced out of that court, and Sean was driving a Ford Explorer, and David's driving his Honda Civic, and they both just like nailed the gas. And Sean killed him in in a fucking Ford Explorer. He killed him, and Sean was so dead, like hell bent on beating David, that he went into the middle of Getty, like into the middle of Beck Road. Like he
Yeah.
was like he stepped on his gas pedal and his car did not stop. And
He
like
just
if there was
flew
a
into
car
it,
that
no braking at the intersection to
yes,
see what's happening. Like he was just Lord take the
he
wheel.
literally like in every sense of the word, he sent it.
Yeah, full send. Full send.
Full send. Full send. That was a
That's
different time.
that's
I
a
love
nice
the
memory. I
I
like
love
that.
when I love the time before cell phones. God damn, we got up to so much bullshit.
Well, come on, we all had cell phones then.
No, but yeah, fine.
By the time we
No,
were
we all
driving
had
a
cell phones. We
car,
didn't have smartphones. We didn't have
I
phones that could
guess,
like
yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't
we're a
have phones that
little,
could keep us busy under our fucking
we're, yeah,
staring down at it.
yeah, we were a little less online still, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I
there
miss
were years there, yeah, there were years that we were between a cell phone and a smartphone for sure. Yeah,
yeah, I miss those times. I miss those parties at Sean's. How many of those parties did you go to at his
I mean,
at the Central City Park house?
you mean
The
what
one
was
with the
it?
hot tub. The hot tub.
Yeah, the hot tub, and it
Wait,
was near the
no,
high
but there was
school.
also the other hot tub. So I guess I'm talking about the first hot tub.
I was at what was it? His dad's place a lot more. Whichever place was near the high school.
Yeah, his dad's place.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking about his mom's place. Like when he used to have like really big parties.
wow. No, I mean I was at his mom's place. I think once or twice. It was like an apartment, wasn't it?
No, I think
It was closer to where we lived.
it was in Central City Park. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like south of like my house,
It
down Beck
it
Road.
was just down the street from Ryan McKinney and David Parkin's house. It was on the same road, actually. Now that I
Oh,
think
so
about
it
it,
was in that
what was
central.
that fucking road called? It was a circle.
I
was a
can't remember
circle.
him. I can't remember him.
I want to say it was like Manhattan Drive.
Tony and Ben's
Tony lived
parents,
on the next block to the east.
or like north of it. I guess I don't know where you're saying in relations exactly in that neighborhood. What is that neighborhood? Central Park.
It would have been straight east, like where Tony and Ben lived. They lived.
I know, but I don't have a good
lived on
idea of where.
Pavilion was parallel to Manhattan, but Manhattan was a circle.
Where?
Pavilion was a circle as well, but it was a circle going in the different direction.
Honestly, I could still get lost in parts of that neighborhood because it all.
I know.
And Tony and Ben's parents moved out of there, so like I have no reason to go in there anymore. Like, no, I don't know anybody. I mean, maybe some of their parents are still there, like other, like, like who, like David or somebody. But yeah, I don't know, that neighborhood's like a no-go now.
David got married to a girl that looks just like his little sister, and it's really fucked up.
Well, come on now. Let's not.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that publicly, should I?
Well, hey, if she looks like her sister, if she looks like his sister, then she probably has some resemblance with her mom, and they say everybody ends up with somebody like their mom.
Yeah, no, their mom was disgusting. No.
I mean, I'm not saying are they hot right now or as a mother.
Talk about saying something publicly loud. Sorry, David. Love you, Dave.
Try not to say last names. That's all I'm saying. I know who you're talking about.
Good call.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I don't really have any reason to go.
When was it?
I feel like I knew so many people in that neighborhood, and now I don't. Like, I don't think I would know. Like, or I don't know. Yeah,
because it was all their parents' house.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we were kids. We were living at home.
Nobody was actually living there. We were just living in our parents' house.
No, but I would assume then, ostensibly, some of them probably still go back, and their parents still live there, and they go there for the holidays or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been in touch with. Well, like, I guess Steve Lang's mom, or God, I said a last name now. But Slangford Unleashed.
Oh, no one's gonna be able to tell what that means.
I know, whatever. I mean, it's not.
I'm just joking. It really doesn't matter. No one's listening to this shit anyway.
But but I guess
by
she's
the way,
not there anymore.
Steve Lang. I love you, Steve Lang. If you're listening, hit me up.
I wonder if Jeremy. I wonder if Jeremy and Justin.
I wonder if JJ. I wonder if JJ.
JJ squared because there were two JJs.
No, but we know what JJ we're talking about here.
They both lived there. I wonder if their family still lives there. Has that house? I don't know. Maybe they do.
His brother was so gay.
All right, easy now, easy.
No, we're just talking about gay. I was gonna say JJ, and I said gay.
The other JJ.
I didn't have a problem with him being gay. It's just like he was super gay. Like
maybe he was. I don't know.
No issue there. Just like
he seemed to get pussy though too at the
way more pussy than his brother got. Like it is weird. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy was a weirdo though. I felt for Jeremy. Jeremy. Sorry, JJ.
Well, just the first name's fine. You can say just the first name.
All right. So yeah,
so
I
know
remember that
he
had definitely had some like social like anxiety stuff the same as I did. I remember it like because I could see him like melting down internally sometimes. It's probably the same reason that we were both addicted to crack so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I have my things too in terms of social anxieties or inability to, or just sort
Where
of
where did you meet
maladaptive. What?
where did you meet Rachel?
Where did I meet Ray? I met her at high school. God, that sounds
That's not an
bad.
answer. Where? What was the moment? There had to have been a moment.
Yeah, you want. I mean, there's an easy
Yeah, let's
moment,
hear it.
and
I
it's
want to
kind
hear
of
it.
embarrassing.
That's even better.
But no, it was as simple as I I don't know, we had some show or something. It was when I was still in the band in senior year, and it was just like you'd be going up and talking to people and trying to get telling them you're playing somewhere and telling people, and it was an excuse. It was a reason you could go talk to a girl you don't know at all and invite her to something or whatever, and it was something along those lines. Yeah, I
So
think.
she saw you play live.
No,
She
no, no, no,
enjoyed
no. It
it.
wasn't that. It was no. I mean, it was although she might have seen me at a talent show or something some other time, but the time I like talked to her the first time, there was also she was wearing a Cake shirt, the band Cake. So that was a thing that I could be like,
That'll
"Hey,
that'll that'll rattle any of us.
hey, cool band. Did
That'll
you go
rattle
see
any of
them?
us. Yeah,
Nice
for
shirt."
sure. If I meet a girl with a Cake shirt on, it's on.
That's a cool
Like,
band.
yeah.
Still is.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, but that's it. I mean, it's not
No, what
like
did you say? What
I
were
don't
the
remember
words?
now. I mean, I'm telling you the gist of it.
Did she say something to you first, or did you say something to her?
I'm sure I said something first. She was also walking with a girl named Megan that I was in a class with the year before. So I knew her a little bit and had talked
Okay.
to her in class.
Okay.
So it was kind of like I kind of had the you
The
know
in, the
yeah,
in,
I knew
if you
her a
will.
little bit. There was a reason to tell
Yeah, yeah.
talk to the two of them, and the
So
shirt was also
she was the mediator.
not really. I mean, I went up and talked to both of them, but it was also like I said, the shirt was another icebreaker thing to be able to like. I think yeah, it was like did you go, nice shirt or something? Did you go to the show or did you see them or something along those lines?
And she's just like, what? What do you mean? I just like cake.
She
I just like to eat cake.
that would be quite a
That would be
twist.
perfect. That would be the perfect plot twist. And she was like, "What are you talking about? I just like to eat cake."
I I don't know why it says Comfort Eagle on it too, but I assume it is a brand of cakes.
I don't even like cake. Cake's not like I never like cake.
I'll have it at a birthday. It's not bad.
As long as it's like double fudge, like double fucking triple fucking quadruple fudge, I'll
As
have it.
long as a woman has sat on it and crushed it first,
I
and
don't
then
think. Yeah, I always like respected a person who was able to have a woman sit on their face
it's pretty great.
because she better weigh like less than 125 pounds. She's
Oh
gonna
no,
sit
that's
on
where
my
you're wrong,
face.
buddy.
No, that's where I'm right.
No, that's where you're wrong.
I don't need some sweaty 175-pound pig.
No, yeah, it's all about ratios. It's all about
Ratio, exactly. My face
hip,
isn't that big.
no, hip to waist ratios, proportions, things like that.
All right, I'll buy that. All right,
No,
fine.
it's great. It's great. You want if you want somebody to sit on your face, which it sounds like you don't.
I don't.
If you want somebody to sit on your face, you want a little more pressure than the average. You're not looking for a
I
skinny
already have
girl to
breathing
sit on your
problems.
face.
No,
It's not.
I
You're not
already have
looking for.
I already have
You're
breathing
not asking
problems. When
Kate
like
Moss to
I'm
sit
supposed to
on
like
your
do it all
face.
through my nose.
What?
I already have breathing problems. What am I supposed to do? It all through my nose?
I
Like,
mean,
what do you just?
you're supposed to not breathe at all. Oh my god, this is getting too horny. We got to cut this off soon.
This isn't getting horny at all. I'm not getting horny.
Well,
Talking
then,
about this is making my dick shrivel.
see,
So,
I guess this is where we part ways. I mean, this is where we're different people.
well, I like eating pussy. I do enjoy eating pussy, and
Wow.
but I couldn't. I don't know if like
Okay,
face
that's
sitting
fine.
is only for like a really really light girl. She
Yeah,
has
I
to
mean, I
be
think
really light.
you're not into the general spirit of it then, I would think.
I'm in the. I
No, you're not
enjoy.
into.
No, that's the thing though. Like I
No,
have the
you're not
swirl.
into
I
it.
have the swirl down and everything. I
What?
have the swirl down and everything.
Squirrel. Oh god.
I know what I'm doing.
No, no, I don't
It
want to
just
hear
needs
it.
to be in the right place, in the right position. Like that's.
Sure, that helps.
I want to be on top. Is that should I should I walk through the halls of Cersei and be shame, shame, shame?
That's all you want? I
I
mean,
just want to be on top. I don't want to be
God,
suffocated. I can make her I can make her so much happier if I'm on top. Like, and I'm sure she'd appreciate it. Like, what does she want to do? Suffocate me? Like, what the fuck is the point of
no,
that?
you don't need to worry about it, Kevin. There's plenty of women that don't care about sitting on a guy's face, so it's
No.
fine.
Well, guess
There's
what? I'm gonna do the old flipperoo.
every crooked pot has a
As
crooked.
soon as, as soon as she sits on my face, I'm gonna grab her by her waist, and if she's light enough, which she should be,
All right,
I'm just
that's.
joking.
Mm,
I'm joking too hard. I'm sorry, internet.
mm, yeah, I don't. I think all women are beautiful. Personally, I
I
think.
also think all women are beautiful, but I do not want all women to sit on my face.
I just think you're
So,
also generally not that into the idea from the jump.
well, but
I
the
don't
thing
think.
is that I do enjoy eating pussy. That's kind of what we were talking about. Like, I do
Yeah,
enjoy
but that's
eating
not the
pussy.
same thing.
But
You're
it's not the
talking.
same thing. You're right. I don't enjoy.
You don't, and that's fine. You don't need to. Plenty of women do not
Do
care.
we have anyone in chat that can chime in on this?
It looks like there's supposedly one person watching it. I would love to hear somebody chime in,
Can someone chime in on this and just say
but
yes or no?
I'm guessing that it's not somebody that's going to do that. So that's fine, whatever. But yeah, I don't think that's a problem. I think there's plenty of women who don't care that they're kind of right down to business. I think there's a lot
Yeah,
of
I
women.
can't. I can't handle a woman that's right down. It needs to be my business. Like that's
Yeah,
like
but
that's
I
like
don't know. That's what I'm saying is I
like
don't think that.
I'm a controlling. I'm a dom guy.
Wow, that's so unexpected of you. Wow, that's such a wow.
That's such a wow.
That's such a surprising dynamic.
I can't
Wow.
believe you said that.
Can you go on about? Can you elaborate? I can't.
I
Like
mean, I could
I
never
don't.
like be like a pig with a fucking like ball in my mouth, like with like a strap around my face. That would never happen,
Well, to
ever.
each their own. And here's the thing, Kevin.
You want to know who's really wait?
No, my point continues to be that like most women aren't going to care about that kind of thing anyway. It's
Remember
not going
that
to matter
scene in Golden?
anyway.
You remember how hot? Like who is that? Who is that actress in Goldeneye? That's like super hot.
I don't even
The
remember.
brunette that like
I
kills
barely
that
sleep.
literally kills that dude with her thighs. She literally like suffocated him with her thighs.
This is the horniest stream we've ever done.
I'm not even horny. I'm just thinking about how hot she was. You got to remember Goldeneye. It was the evil bitch. It was the evil bitch that like James Bond had to like kill at the end of the film because she was.
I don't remember the movie
She
that
came.
well.
Oh my I love GoldenEye so much.
I think everybody likes the video game more than they really.
No, I really love the film. I think that it's like
To be
one of
honest
the
with you,
top three best
every
Bond
time I
films ever
try to
made.
go back and watch James Bond movies, I can't get into a single one of them, man.
Then watch GoldenEye
I
because
always
it's different. GoldenEye was filmed differently. I think it
the,
was filmed by like I want to. It was
the
filmed by a
only thing
prominent director. Like it wasn't just another Bond film.
the only thing that GoldenEye has that makes it more watchable than the others is it does have the memories of the video game, so there is a little more, at least a little bit of a hook there for me.
It's
But
actually
really,
good. It actually is a good film.
but I always get, every once in a while, like once every 5 years or so, I get a wild hair up my ass to be like, oh, I should watch a bunch of James Bond movies. That
Well, you
sounds
should
great.
watch then just
I
watch
watch
GoldenEye. There's your hair up your ass. Come here, Woodrow.
I mean, the last time I did, I watched it. And I was, me and Jeff we barely paid attention to it. It was just
You watched
vibes.
GoldenEye?
Yes, literally GoldenEye. And it was all about just like, oh yeah, this is like the game. These shots, these scenes, these settings.
Oh my god, I'm watching it now.
Remember Tina Turner's song she did with U2 for that movie?
I'm not a fan of GoldenEye music. I've never been a fan of Bond music. Like I think, like
honestly,
it's funny because it was all a part of their marketing campaign was to have this like really effective song to like start everything out.
Well, the general theme is good. Don't you think that?
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. That's whoever wrote that deserves all of the accolades.
I think that's a great like.
It really is.
Yeah. Like a riff, like it's memorable.
It really is. It really is. It's epically good.
I think that Tina Turner's song would have been good if they took that weird big orchestra hit sample.
Rent for $3.99. Rent now. Rent for $3.99.
The other thing about that Bond theme, interesting. Look at you. Now you're just looking.
I just spent $4 on a Bond film.
That's foolish. You should learn how to torrent movies.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer, baby.
You're watching a movie now.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer, baby.
All right, let's wrap this up.
GoldenEye in the background. Shut the fuck up.
It's
a movie that I've already seen 1,000 times. I don't need to watch this.
I need to wrap it in a little bit to eat dinner and hang out with Rachel, but you can go a little bit longer. But the other thing,
you want to hear
the other thing about the James Bond theme, just that riff, the general riff that we were just talking about. You're so distracted. You're so distracted.
Pierce Brosnan's so hot. Look at this.
Wow.
Pierce Brosnan. He jumps out of this plane. He catches the plane when it's fucking falling. One of the most epic scenes of like movie history.
Wow. Movie history.
He's on the edge. No, this is him like, oh, he just fucked up. He knows he fucked up. He's got to move quick. I fucking love this film. This film's so good, dude.
See, you're so distracted. We can't do this.
No, okay.
No, you're not good at this. See, you're just looking at it. You're totally distracted.
No, it doesn't matter because it's so good. Look.
No, we've done over an hour.
All right.
We've done an hour and 20.
Wait,
let's wrap it up.
Jump. Just wait for the...
Put it down a little lower. Put it down. There we go. Now I'm seeing that jump.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's just like the video game.
Look at how big that fucking dam is.
I wonder if this will get us a copyright slap.
I hope so. I'd love to go to court over this.
That'd be funny. We should. I don't know. If you weren't so distracted by it, it would be an interesting, maybe
It's just the opening scene
theme.
because like he deals with his best friend in this scene, like 006. Trevelyan, Alec Trevelyan. You remember Alec Trevelyan, right?
No, not really. You completely.
All right. If you don't remember Alec Trevelyan, then you don't deserve to watch this.
Okay, well, we can call it. It's
No,
about
let's just we can talk about
it's
something
about
else.
7 o'clock. We've done an hour and 20. That's solid. We were, we talked the whole time. It was flowing.
Can we just talk about the fact that I'm about to be homeless and that like I don't know what to.
I mean, okay, then elaborate on that for anybody, any outside party listening.
I've been living in this place for a year and a half. My landlord has decided to not renew the lease. And in 8 weeks, I'm gonna be on the street, and I'm gonna end up dying. I'm gonna have to drag this guy through court. I'm gonna have to drag him through the fucking mud, which is what I'm going to do. It's gonna cost me a lot of money, and
You're getting distracted again. You're watching Goldeneye.
you don't know who this guy is. Not him. Him.
I mean, I don't really remember. No,
He was in the first season of Game of Thrones. He was the only good reason to watch the first season of Game of
I
Thrones.
never watched the show actually.
Good for you.
I'm
You
that
say
annoyed.
you save yourself plenty of hours of life.
I had a feeling.
There
Let's
was
just say
only
I had
one good season. The first season was really good. Like there's nothing to be said about the fact that the first season of Game of Thrones was really good.
It's not for me.
But the 6 seasons that followed it were not good.
The whole thing's not for me. It's fine. Doesn't need to be. It's okay. See, you're just watching the movie. I need to go up.
Too easy. No,
I need to go upstairs and fix myself a sandwich and hang out with my relatives.
Half of everything is luck, James. And the other half, fate.
Okay.
All right.
Don't
go. Don't go.
No. Yeah, I am because it's yeah.
All right. Fine.
You're distracted.
No, I turned it off. It's gone.
Okay.
Right.
Well, say what you gotta say. Cause
say what you gotta say. What is that song? Say what you gotta say.
Say what you need to say.
No, not that K song.
That's no. Isn't that like John Mayer or something? Say what you need to say.
If it wasn't for John Mayer, I'd have my iPod today. I hate him.
I think the Dead would have found somebody else to tour with, even if John Mayer didn't do it.
I think
they would
the
have
Dead
been doing
will
it.
always find someone else to tour with until they're all actually dead.
I think they're going to be able to keep it going beyond the grave, personally. I think they're just going to keep swapping guys out.
You want to know, as a musician,
and it's going to be a business
as
hand
a musician
controlling.
that lives in Vermont, I gotta say, that pisses me off. The Dead was fine. It was fine. It ran its course, and people are still chasing like it's like Elvis in Las Vegas. Who the fuck do these people think they are?
Perhaps there is some sort of a timeless quality that people are trying to tap into.
Is there? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking minute that I don't realize the timeless quality of the Dead album.
I don't know, man. I enjoyed having my time of that sort of sphere of music, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I had my time with it.
The Jerry Garcia band was much better than the Grateful Dead ever was, and I don't understand why that band didn't get. Doesn't matter.
I don't really fully agree with that, but it's fine.
I have an opinion against it just because Christopher Lang. Christopher Lang shoved the Dead into my ear as far as he possibly could. And whenever I heard JGC, I was like, "What is this?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is JGC." And I was like, "Well, this is like, why can't we like, can we just listen to this?" He's like, "No, let me show you this Dead song." I'm like, no, like the JGC sounds really good.
JGB. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I got a lot more into the Dead personally. I mean, when I was into any of that, because I liked a lot of the other people in it too. I liked Phil Lesh as a bass player. I liked
Phil Lesh is a good bass player.
I liked the two drummer situation.
The only time I ever saw two drummers on stage was Silverchair.
King Crimson for me.
Who else
Actually,
was playing
no. I mean, I've seen the Dead. There's got to be. Well, God, it was. Yeah, it was.
Silverchair had like they may have had three drummers. I don't know. It was a weird
King Crimson
show.
had three drummers. King Crimson had three drummers, and they were lined up at the front of the stage.
Because only three regular drummers could create one Bill Bruford.
I have that Silverchair DVD from the Diorama tour, and I don't really remember there being.
I want to say that they.
There might be some like orchestra, like timpanis and shit like that.
Oh my god, no! Like they had a multi-leveled stage where they had Silverchair on the top, and then like everyone on the bottom was like
an orchestra.
Right. It was like they had saxophones and they had drummers and they had keyboards and they had synthesizers and like everything on the bottom stage. Like there had to be like 13 people up there. And I'm not
honestly
kidding.
Silverchair was really underrated.
One of the most underrated bands.
They really got a bad rap for being like a bunch of young kids that look like Kurt Cobain, like right.
Well, and they got a bad rap because dude was always talking about like, and you know, this is his life story, but people didn't want to hear it. Is about the whole like starving himself and being anorexic and
yeah, he had a bad eating disorder and he had some kind of rare disease. Because I remember that Silverchair tour for Diorama was supposed to come to the Orbit Room in Grand Rapids, but he had like a very rare, I forget what kind of condition.
Yeah, he has like some sort of like I want to say anemia, like
something
sort of, like
I mean,
disorder.
it was something like that. Like it got pushed back for like a year, and they did not have like Michigan on the reschedule at all.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate to have.
And then they came around on their last tour to St. Andrews Hall, but it was way more stripped down, and I wasn't able to. I was like not in a job, and I was a big mess, and I didn't get to see them that last time they came to Detroit. So I missed that one.
Steve T, why am I fat? Where's all this fat coming from?
Because you need to get back to work and not be drinking. Simple as.
It's mostly inflammation. It's probably not fat.
Well, yeah, but isn't that affected by drinking? I mean...
No, nothing's affected by drinking. What are you talking about?
There you go. No, I don't know. I gotta make some dinner here and go do some stuff. We should do this again in the daytime. like when we talked all this, like the late morning, early afternoon. We
Why
need
don't you go have some dinner and then let's just do it again?
no, because I want to hang out with Rachel and I want to take a shower.
Why
And
would you want to hang out with your
watch
wife?
TV?
Wow, what a weirdo.
Yeah, I know. We're watching shitty dating shows. It's kind of fun.
Which ones?
Um, the really good one is Love in Translation, or the one that I like anyway is that. But we're all caught up on that, and then she started putting on Heartbreak Island, and I don't think it's as good, but I have nonetheless become sort of invested in it as filler TV. Happens. Sometimes you just need something on.
I think you should come back. I think we should talk some more.
I think we should do it in the daytime tomorrow. Like all the time we spent on the phone in the daytime today, be streaming, doing this instead tomorrow. Okay. All right.
All right, brother. You have a good night and enjoy the. Norm did a great bit about like matchmaking games. on.
All right, dude. You better do it as best as you can. Knock it out here.
Have a good night, my friend.
All right. Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, goodbye.